Good morning. Graduates and faculty, you may be seated. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kents Hill's graduation for the class of 2026. I am Dr. Molly McKean, the very proud head of school, and I'm thrilled that we are here together to celebrate these amazing graduates. I will have the privilege of ushering us through today's events, and we will open with an invocation from Reverend Myung-So Lee in honor of our school's Methodist roots. Please join me in welcoming Reverend Lee to the podium.
Now let us take a moment to pause together and give thanks for this wonderful day. This place is filled with people who have walked this journey together, families who supported and sacrificed, and teachers, mentors, coaches, and staff who believed in you when you didn't believe yourself, and friends who left together, who struggled together, and made even the difficult days meaningful. Today is filled with many emotions: joy, pride, gratitude, relief, and perhaps even some uncertainty about what comes next. In the midst of all these things, may we be reminded that no one walks alone. We give thanks for this school, for this community, and for the gift of learning and belonging. We give thanks for every person in this place who played a part in making this day possible. And as we begin this celebration, we ask for something more than good weather and working microphones. We ask for the grace to be truly present, to let this moment land, and to feel the weight and the joy of it fully. We are grateful to be gathered here today to celebrate the class of 2026. So God of wisdom and new beginnings, may wisdom rest on these graduates as they step into a new season of life. May they be brave enough to dream big and humble enough to ask for help. May they have the compassion to care for others and the courage to face whatever challenges lie ahead, not with fear, but with hope. May they seek what is good and never stop learning. May they use their gifts not only for success, but also for kindness, justice, and the good of the world. And may they carry with them the confidence of knowing they are deeply loved by the people gathered here today, and by a God whose care for them continues wherever life may lead. So let this be a day worth remembering, and may this ending open the door to meaningful new beginnings. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Lee. On Prize Day on Thursday, I reminded the class of 2026 of my affection for the expression bird by bird, a reference to a heartwarming book called Bird by Anne Lamott. For our guests who haven't read it, the book is a hilarious meditation on the messiness of the writing process that is ultimately a perfect treatise on resilience. And it's relatable enough to general life to get repeated shout-outs in Ted Lasso, where in low moments they say bird by bird, coach, which is where I honestly first encountered it. Today, though, I want to offer a different slice of wisdom from Anne Lamott that I've been thinking about recently. One of the ways Anne Lamott describes the beautiful, maddening inefficiency of writing is that so often as you work, the thing you think you're writing about ends up being tangential to the real insight that you're going to discover along the way. She likens the writing process to the period of waiting for a Polaroid to come into focus. You take a photo of a thing, and then it's only as you wait for that photo to develop that you realize that the most interesting thing was actually happening in the background. And so she urges us, pay attention to the things your brain is bringing to the surface, even if at first you don't know why. So here is the memory I haven't been able to shake lately. Just about a decade ago, I was living in downtown California, working in a small school very much like Kents Hill in spirit, just located in downtown San Francisco instead of downtown Maine. From there, I had an easy jaunt across the Golden Gate Bridge into the sunnier, beautiful landscape of Marin County. For those of you who haven't ever been to this part of the world, the relevant part for this story is that the landscape of Marin is characterized by huge, gorgeous hills, with groves of redwoods and manzanitas tucked into the valley floors below. Now, to call these hills hills is a bit of a misnomer. The elevations on the west coast are sneaky big, and the hillsides are sneaky steep. So those grassy hills actually reach as high as some of our rockier mountain peaks back east here. When you get out on those hills, you have these long, open vistas that give an incredible sense of perspective. And in my time there, became a regular hiker on the weekends, covering 5 or 10 or 15 miles on any given day. And so when my brother, Rory, decided to come visit, I obviously took him out for one of these jaunts. On this particular day, we were about an hour north of San Francisco, beginning our hike with a fairly grueling 90-minute ascent up steep switchbacks, after which we emerged on these gorgeous grassy slopes that were overlooking the Pacific. And after the grunt work, at the beginning of the hike, the feeling I associate with this part of the day is feeling giddy. The hills were empty. The grass was thigh-high and pale yellow, and you could see the breeze rolling across it in waves. In the photos from this day, we are goofing around, our cheeks flushed from the initial climb. And at one point, as we wandered, we came to a huge switchback as the trail turned to go around the rim of a big manzanita gorge that cut into the landscape in front of us. We could see our trail on the far side of the gorge, but there was a huge gully in our way. So we were going to have to follow that trail as it went a few hundred yards out to the right and then come all the way back around the rim. So the only way across was around, which was clearly where we were going, but we also paused because the view across that gully was so beautiful. And my brother could immediately see the potential of the scene. He said, "Hey, jog around, and I'll get a clip of you running along that stretch." And I could see that it would be spectacular, a panoramic shot that would make it look like I was jogging alone on top of the world. When we were done with this, Rory shouted across to me, "Be right there," and leaned over to tuck his nice camera back into his backpack. And it was at that point that I looked up at the hills behind him and shouted, without thought and with laughter in my voice, "No way, look at that dog." And in my mind, I felt only curiosity. We hadn't seen anyone out here in hours. How did someone have a dog out here? "What?" Rory shouted, looking up from his backpack. "Look at that," I began to say, but then my voice faded before I got the last word out. It did look like a dog. But the color was a pale yellow, sort of like a yellow lab. That had to be someone's dog bounding down the hill because it was big enough that its body was clearing the grass as it ran. But it didn't run like a dog, and that's what made my voice stall. And Rory, clearly thinking I had changed my mind and was just going to fill him in later, had looked back down, renewing his focus on zipping up his backpack so he could get moving again. No, that ran like a cat. But people don't hike with cats, I thought. That's absurd. And cats aren't big like dogs, and that is big. Its legs are really clearing that grass. That is a really big cat. I've heard that when adrenaline hits, your survival instincts flood your brain with 8 times the amount of information that you normally receive, more data, so that you have a better chance of figuring out what to do. And this is why your sense of time warps during an adrenaline spike. Your sense of time slows down as your brain tries to process all that extra information. And nature gave me the gift of extra time that day. But even with that, I had no idea whatsoever what to do. I was very far away from Rory. It would take me too long to run back along the trail, and I wasn't getting across the gorge. And even if I got there, what did I have that would help? There was no way to help, because I could see now that that was definitely 140 pounds of fully grown mountain lion bounding straight down the hill towards my brother. And so I stood and I watched. The limbs of that cat, gorgeous with speed and grace, it ran with incredible power, and it tore straight at him and bounded right behind him across the trail and straight down the hill below him in pursuit of other prey. It passed no more than 5 yards behind him, the sound of it completely silent in the breeze. I think I must have made some sort of noise because Rory looked back up toward me. "What?" he shouted. "Just get over here," I said. And so he started jogging my way, completely relaxed, completely unaware of what had just happened. That was a memorable day. But here's what's been so weird about that memory as I have found it surfacing in my brain lately. That as it comes into focus with contemplation, the emotions around that memory are oddly not bad ones. In fact, the feelings associated with that memory are very weirdly kind of happy. It wasn't until I stopped to think about that day more closely, to let that Polaroid come more into focus, that I think I understand better what that memory might actually be about. I had the privilege recently of meeting Dr. Cassie Holmes, an expert in human psychology who is also a professor on happiness at UCLA. As I talked to our students about on Prize Day, happiness is currently a really popular topic for study in academia, in large part because there's something confusing that's happening to us as human beings right now. Despite that, objectively speaking, one would reasonably assume that people alive would be happier now than at any other moment in prior human history. We have greater health outcomes, longer lifespans, greater wealth, greater food security, more physical comfort, more technology, and more mobility. Well, despite all those things, we are not feeling any happier. And to be clear, these studies on happiness matter a lot, because happiness is incredibly important to our health and to the health of society. As Dr. Holmes writes, decades of studies have shown that this basic emotion, happiness, has a tremendous ripple effect. It can make you more resilient, better at your job, more giving to the people around you. It increases motivation, creativity, and adaptive problem solving. It makes us like people more and be liked by people more, which helps both our personal and professional lives. Happiness is also good for us. It boosts our immune functioning, raises our threshold for pain, helps our bodies respond better to physiological stressors, and is a significant predictor of longevity. Altogether, research provides undeniable empirical evidence that happiness is key to living longer, better lives. So humans should pursue happiness. But studies show we're pretty bad at doing so. And that matters quite a bit to the world that we live in. So no wonder there are a lot of people studying this right now. And here's what their work tells us. Part of the reason humans aren't good at pursuing happiness is that too often we assume that we'll find happiness in things or actions. If I get into this college, if I get this job, if I get that salary, if I buy that thing, if I win that championship, if I date that person, well then I will be happy. But happiness pursued in that way is, alas, consistently fleeting. Humans are remarkably good at what scholars call hedonic adaptation. We just get used to things. And we can get used to hard things, which is why resilience training is important, but we also get used to good things that we think would make us happy. Because of hedonic adaptation, we might feel a short-term leveling up of happiness with a new thing in our lives, but those happiness bumps simply don't last over time. And so we default back to however we were feeling before. So hedonic adaptation makes it hard for us to stay happy, but there are ways for us to learn to be more happy. They just require not things, but a shift in perspective in how we think about those things. We fight hedonic adaptation by training our brains not to take things for granted, to notice, be present, and feel lucky for the things we have, which sure sounds great, but honestly is very tricky to do and takes a lot of discipline because our brains are incredibly good at adapting. So Holmes tells us we're going to need to use rituals if we want to move towards greater levels of happiness in our lives. And here is one of the best tools, which she teaches to all of her students at UCLA. She talks about a ritual called counting the remainder. She asks them, tell me something you like doing that brings you happiness. Okay, taking your dog for a long weekend walk. Great. I'm glad that when you stop to think about it, that is something that brings you joy. Now tell me, how many times total do you think you will get to do that? Correcting for weather and travel, okay, let's say you're going to be able to do 50 of those a year. And let's say you're hoping your dog will be with you 12 years. How many of those are behind you? More than half, okay. So you've already experienced more than half of the walks that will ever exist. In doing the math, how do you want to spend the remainder? Now at first, people might think, oh gosh, that is sad and I do not want to think ever about things ending. But studies show that the impact of the exercise is exactly the opposite. Engaging in the exercise instead causes us to appreciate the things we have and to invest in them more deliberately because we have quantified their preciousness to us. and this improves our happiness. To say, actually, this isn't just going to be a weekend walk, puppy. We are going to the beach, and you are going to play in the waves, and I am not going to multitask or have my AirPods in. I'm just going to be present and appreciate this and show that this is important to me, more so because it is not infinite. Feeling lucky that we get to enjoy something that is a fleeting gift in this lifetime is a very effective way to help ourselves feel happier in this life. So that day with the mountain lion, why was that probably, weirdly, kind of a happy memory? I mean, obviously I am very glad that that mountain lion decided not to eat my brother Rory. I want to be very clear about that. But in the end, I don't think that's what that memory is actually about. First, I loved those hills. But in hiking them every weekend, I had taken something breathtaking and I had already made it routine. But when I think of that day, I can still feel the memory. The cool air on my flushed cheeks, the rattling of the manzanita branches in the gorge. I was forced to be so present, and those hills felt so alive, which felt transcendent. And I remembered again that that was worth pausing to appreciate every time I was out there. Second, I loved those hills, and I loved that time in my life. But as I stood there and waited for Rory to catch up, I knew I would not stay in California. For however much I loved it there, I loved my family more. And thus California would never be my home. This rockier, hardier, and no less gorgeous landscape is my home, alongside the people who live here. And thus my number of hikes on those hills was limited. And inasmuch as I hadn't met Dr. Holmes and couldn't have put language to it, I was able to feel more clearly how grateful I was to have an almost perfect and very lucky day within a finite remainder of those days to enjoy. In the end, what we know is that our experience of life, our happiness in life, will be defined primarily by the story we tell ourselves about it. Dr. Holmes puts it, not every hour in a happy life is or needs to be happy. The extent to which we evaluate our lives as satisfying and meaningful instead depends on what we take from it and the stories we tell. Holmes urges us to see that happiness is therefore a choice we can make, writing, "We have agency in what we focus on, and thus we all have a large amount of control over how happy we feel." And this felt important to talk about today because in our world, I believe we need more than ever to give ourselves and each other this gift of telling stories that will draw us together and lift us up. We live in a world that is currently plagued so much too much by nihilism, alienation, and destruction. And thus we need stories of connection, creativity, and creation, of faith in human capacity to work together, to do something better. And those are things rooted in our ability to be grateful for and happy in this world we have inherited, and to which we believe we can contribute. We need hope, friends. And to our graduates, that means we need you. Because in all that you have already shown us you can do, and in all the incredible ways you are leaving this place better, you have given us so much hope that you can also go and help our world begin to write a better story for itself. And so to our graduates, despite that this is our last day when you are our students here on the Hill, and that the finite remainder of our hours together is now so close to done, please know that we feel such joy that we get to mark this end with this celebration today, to honor the ways you have grown and the ways you leave us better for your time here. At so many moments, you have made us so proud and so hopeful, and those are the things that we will remember of you. And in all this, you do make my life a very happy life, and I wish nothing more for you than you should find the same for yourself as you venture forth from this place. Congratulations to the class of 2026 on this very happiest of days. Thank you. And it is now my pleasure to invite our first student speaker, Kira Motiwala, to the podium to share her thoughts on today.
Good morning, faculty, family, friends, and of course, the graduating class of 2026. At Kents Hill School, we are known as a Husky pack. In a pack, there's the leader, the one who makes the decisions, the disciplinarians, the one who enforce order, and the caretakers, the ones who tend to the injured. At Kents Hill, our pack encompasses far more than that. There are those who get on stage and act a Broadway-level performance, those who walk into the Alphon with sportsmanship radiating off of them before practice, those who make the dorm erupt with laughter, and those who are staying quietly to themselves. No matter who you are, every single person is essential to a functioning pack. Think about it. If a Husky pack didn't have their disciplinarians, who would keep the order? Without caretakers, all the Huskies would have infected wounds. We need everyone in order to make this work. However, all of you have a less obvious role that isn't as a parent. Every single one of you has a part that you don't show others, that doesn't shine as bright as the rest of your qualities. And as you move forward after high school, I ask that when you enter a space, whether it's university, ice rink, soccer field, art studio, or wherever your basic training for is, that you do not hide yourself. Plant your roots. I remember the first time I did. I was going to the gym, and if you know me, that is not my usual place. I walk in, music blaring, people grunting, Jasper's in the corner doing this. I look in the other corner, Benisho's doing something like this. I don't know what's going on. Immediately, I felt out of place. I did not belong here. I was set up in the corner with my mat and my Google searched workouts. But day by day, I kept showing up. I kept showing up with the mindset that people are feeling the exact same way I am. People want to go to the gym, but they're intimidated. Showing up is the only way to prove that this isn't some exclusive VIP deluxe environment that only certain people can use. It's just a gym. Over time, I began to feel more comfortable there. The gym is no longer as daunting as it once seemed. Now, I don't know if I've helped anyone face their fears about going to the gym, but this is one example of how planting your roots and building your belonging can make a difference in yourself. A difference in yourself can always spark a difference in someone else. So plant your roots and create a hub for others who still hide themselves to flourish. In life, you will meet people who have the privilege to fit in, but you have the luxury to be different. I did not have the privilege of fitting in when I first entered the gym, but I had the opportunity and the luxury to grow and be different. My dad always told me this quote by John Updike: "If you have the guts to be yourself, other people will pay the price." And what that means is if you are willing to be authentic and stay true to yourself, then people will respect you. They cannot ignore who you really are. So I've told you all of this hopefully inspiring advice, but no way on how to achieve it. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything and just say, go for it, because it's not only unrealistic, but it's also really annoying. But I will tell you this. If you're going to plant your roots and put yourself out there, you have to be willing to live in discomfort. When I say discomfort, I mean going into a room, not knowing anyone, and spark up a conversation with someone. They may reciprocate your energy, they may not. Reality is, not everyone will like you. This is not meant to discourage you, but to remind you that when you do find people who like you, it will feel much more rewarding. Remember that everyone in a pack has specific qualities that contribute to its functioning, and every quality is a strength. So have the courage to make connections that will allow you to fully express who you are, connections that do not make you feel as if you need to hide yourself. Have the courage to plant your roots and make connections, knowing that you're introducing yourself with your true character. And thank you to Kents Hill for letting me plant my roots. My final wish for the class of 2026 is to find the strength to be yourself. I'm so proud of this class and so lucky to have grown up with these people. Thank you.
I have the privilege today of presenting 5 final awards to members of our graduating class. These awards are in addition to a series of awards that were presented on Prize Day earlier this week. The first of these awards is the Head of School Award. The Head of School Award is given each year to a senior for displaying exemplary citizenship and pride in the school community and for achieving significant personal growth as a Kents Hill student. There will be 2 Head of School Awards this year. The first Head of School Award will be given to Alex Sun. Our second Head of School Award goes to Penelope Thorpe. The Knowles Prize is given in memory of Mark T. Knowles, class of 1885, and is awarded to a senior for excellence in scholarship and other outstanding merit. The recipient of this year's Knowles Prize is Adrian Piper. The Lydia and Luther Sampson Award is given in memory of the school's founders to a senior who has excelled in the classroom and in extracurricular activities. This year's Lydia and Luther Sampson Award goes to Samantha Holston. The Class of 1913 Award is given in memory of the Class of 1913 and nominates the senior who, in the estimation of the faculty, has exercised the greatest influence for good during the year. The Class of 1913 Award goes to Stephanie Monaco. And finally, the Rist Bonifond Person of Principal Award is given to that member of the graduating class who best embodies the school's core belief that one person of principal can always make a difference. This year, the Rist Bonifond Person of Principal Award goes to Blythe Dennison. I would now like to welcome to the podium our second student speaker, Adrian Ashton Piper.
Good morning, everyone. It's honestly a dream come true to be speaking to all of you here today. A year ago, sitting at the Class of 25 graduation, I decided that I wanted to be up here giving this speech. So, obviously, when I found out I'd been voted student speaker, I was ecstatic. For about a day. Then I realized that the curse of working towards this speech for so long was that I'd imagined a million things I could say, but I didn't actually know what I wanted to say. Somehow I had to condense my 2 years at Kents Hill into a 5-minute speech, and my timer's running down, so I'm gonna get going. I was inspired when we got our final high school yearbooks, and I was reminded of the senior quote I'd chosen months earlier. It is an important thing in our never-ending pursuit of happiness to stop and just be happy for a while. Mark Twain. Okay, yes, looking back, it's a bit dramatic, but I chose it for a reason. I wanted to remind underclassmen, and honestly, myself, to slow down every once in a while and make memories here. Because memories are by far the most important thing we leave Kents Hill with. The diploma's nice too, but you get what I mean. And speaking of memories, I want to share one of my favorite stories from childhood. Growing up on the Caribbean island of Dominica, I heard countless folk tales about Anansi, a clever little spider who somehow always managed to get his way. And one of my favorites was Anansi and the Sky God, which explains how humans got stories in the first place. Here's a small part of it. Anansi saw that the humans seemed sad. They had nothing to make their lives happy and bright. Then, he remembered that in the palace of Nyame, the sky god, there were magical things called stories. These things could make anyone happy. That's it. Humans must have stories. So Anansi spun his web into the sky and climbed up, up, up into the heavens. After a few tricks and close calls, Anansi finally convinces the sky god to share his stories with the world, bringing joy to human life. I share this because it reminds me how powerful stories really are. In the months since I chose my quote, I found that stopping to be happy isn't just about being present. Sometimes it's about looking back. From the childhood favorites we grew up hearing to the memories we create every day, the stories we choose to hold on to shape who we become. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. High school was hard. Whether you've been here for 4 years or 1, I know your time at Kents Hill was filled with both highs and lows. And when you look back on these years, remember both. Remember the struggles because they remind you of how strong you are. Stories can be filled with pain or anger or embarrassment, but look at you now. You made it. You're all right. Sometimes reliving what you survived is what gives you the strength to keep moving forward. But don't forget to hold on to the memories that made you feel alive here. Because Anansi is right, stories are magical things. A memory filled with laughter or love can bring light to the darkest moments. It sounds cliche, I know, but there is a difference between hearing something, knowing something, and believing it. And there's something simple we all believed in as kids that we cannot afford to lose as we grow older. The power of a story with a happy ending. And I'll finish by sharing some of my stories. For the past month, I've been writing down the things that made me happy. A lot of them were moments I shared with all of you, moments I hope you'll remember too. Here are a few. Being part of an iconic rendition of The Girl Is Mine at the talent show, dancing the night away at prom, learning some fun new word games on the long drive back to campus, waking up at 5:30 the next morning for a senior class trip that still felt worth it, dying laughing at our play, Just Another Audition, hanging out in the hammocks during the precious warm days of spring, making TikToks for the creativity points in a class project, the Davis barbecue with a group of guys I'm genuinely grateful to have lived with this past year, finally deleting Blue Book after my last AP exam, and seeing the yearbook I worked so hard on and getting it signed by people I want to remember. And now, my final memory, graduating with this incredible class. What a satisfying ending. Thank you.
And friends, the moment is upon us. It is now time for our students to graduate. Here at Kents Hill, advisory groups are of great importance. We often speak of advisory as a student's family within our larger community. We therefore graduate our students by advisory to make visible these important ties. At Kents Hill, we also have a longstanding tradition of inviting current employees to present diplomas to their graduates. So you will see that happen at a few moments today. Assisting with the awarding of diplomas are Patricia Hatler, the president of the Kents Hill Board of Trustees, and John Christensen, assistant head of school. To begin, I would like to invite John Christensen's advisory to the stage to graduate.
Grayson Walcott Frothingham. Ken Kojima. Hong Yi Liu. Charles Richard Mayer. Gavin Conrad Rothy. Please welcome Laura Christensen's advisory group to the stage.
Jasper Rue Bowen. Haley Lynn Clark. Hazen Charles Mitchell. Samantha Ashley Rowe. Alexander Christopher Sun. I am pleased to invite Laura Coles Advisory to come forward.
Blythe Sidna Dennison. Lucian Berger Gross. Bailey Ann Joyce. Gwendolyn Lewis. Gianni Matai Sine Meadows. Alana Marie Nichols. Please welcome Dylan Gifford's advisory group.
Madison Greenaway. Amira Lee Sherdak. Lena Ellis Ladner. Jin Shun Ma. Wade Sharp in absentia. I'm happy to invite Nunzi Sawyer's advisory group to come forward.
Megan Fischel Dolan. Remy Alexandra LaBelle. Palmer Dixon Maggart. Avery Elizabeth Ross. Please welcome Marlene Abuasi and Clary Hurdles Advisory Group.
Vinicio González Macali. Mathis Moko.
Adrian Piper.
Let's go, Adrian! You're so smart, man! You did it! You're smart, boy!
Nat Huat.
Damar Washington. Now I'd like to welcome Jack Hutchins' advisory group.
Banks Martin Alborn. Emerson Daniel Inglesby. Benjamin Stephen Talia. Becky Kimball's group is invited to come to the stage.
Milan Anjolfi. I would like to invite Jessica Gilbert to the stage to present a diploma to her graduate. Samantha Gilbert Holston. Stephanie Titi Monaco. John Wesley Randall VI. Amalia Soul Wright. Zhang Napvi.
Let's go, honey! You're so gorgeous! I love you! I brought you your favorite snacks!
Madeline Page Wilson. I'm pleased to welcome Kevin Mackey's advisory group to the stage.
Chaz Camp. Declan Bennett Dupre. Nicholas E. Ioza.
Matthias Maddie Medal. Matthew Toomey. Liam Patrick Welsh. I'd like to invite Jeff McAdams' group to come forward. Zach Brocolo. Kiyotaro Hayashi. Jackson Rafferty Kerr. Shamil Radifovich Sitnikov. Jackson Gray Volansky. We now invite Chris McInerney's group to the front.
Ethan Thomas Canusio. Grady Coker. Baz Hochberg in absentia. Nick Newen. I would like to invite Renee Davis to the stage to present a diploma to her graduate. Nicholas Giles Tobin. Please welcome Ben Miller's advisory group.
Mahika Arun. Jonah Daigle. We'll get it figured out. Emilian Goutreau. Kira Motiwala. Phil Skachelas. Please join me in welcoming Ellen Schuler's group.
Miriam Bruner. Ava Minu Kuchera. Gracie Rawson Muir. Penelope Morse Thorpe. I'm pleased to invite Meg Bianchi and Andrew Willahan's group to the stage.
Tristan Barasa.
Asher Broadway.
Alex Gabois. There you go. He's got it.
Albert Kadletz.
Antoine Morin.
William Zui.
Please join us in welcoming back Dr. Molly McKean. Graduates, please rise. It is now time to move your tassels from the right to the left to signify your graduation and symbolize your transition to the next great adventure. Can we all get a rousing round of applause to say congratulations to our newest graduates? Let's go ahead and move those tassels right to left. At this time, graduates, you can be seated, and I am pleased to welcome Ellen Schuler and the Kents Hill Singers to the stage to present We Can Dream by Pink Zebra.
In this moment, take a chance. Feel the light shine down. Live your life out loud. You can dance. Let your voice be take the high road to your dreams. Let the world see how life could be right now. Come with me. One step towards the end. What will happen next? Tells the story of our lives. And together we can see that the world is ours. We can shine like stars. We can dream. We can
Right. Megan, it looks real smooth. I would now like to welcome to the podium Mr. Mike Hannon, selected by our graduates to offer them some words of wisdom on this important day. Welcome, Mr. Hannon.
This is getting real now, I guess, huh? All right, good morning, families, friends, colleagues, trustees, and most importantly, the incredible class of 2026. How lucky am I to be standing here today to have this opportunity to share reflections and thoughts? How lucky are we to enjoy this day? And how lucky are you to be graduating from Kents Hill School? So luck might be a part of that, but hard work, dedication, hardships, successes, tears, laughter, and pure resilience are why you're sitting here today. We may be lucky, but you earned your way to this stage. When you asked me to be your faculty speaker, I was deeply moved. Then, the yearbook dedication simply blew me away. To be recognized as your teacher, coach, mentor, and friend is an honor of a lifetime. It also affirms why we do what we do as educators. Most people secretly wonder whether what they do actually matters because society rarely tells them until the moment passes. These two honors show that our connection is real, unique, and genuine. As you move forward, know that the positive qualities people associate with you are often because of how you make them feel when they are around you. Over the last 4 years, whether we were breaking down equations in math, diving into financial planning spreadsheets, running drills on the baseball diamond, soccer field, basketball court, going through countless Nearpod presentations, I'll get to that later, or talking about life during late night check-ins in Sampson Davis Hall, we built a bond that I will carry forever. And thinking about how we connected over these years, I ran some stats because I'm kind of a math guy a little bit. Out of the 71 of you, roughly 95% have had a direct connection to me as a student in class, athlete on a team I coached, student in the dorm, teammate on a winter carnival team, or an advisee. To break that down even further, 82% of you sat in one of my classes. But we didn't connect through homework or exams or drills. It happened through our valuable life talk during class. Now, during class time, this life talk wasted valuable academic time for math. I apologize ahead of time. But you love that. You love that when I wasted time in class. Do you remember those discussions? Does anybody remember those discussions and what they might have been about? Honeybees. I didn't plant that. Maybe I did. Yes, we talked a lot about honeybees. You quickly realized that if you got me talking about the passion I have for honeybees and for beekeeping, you could avoid math work and make the period fly by. Soon, every day, I'd started getting the question, "Hey, Hannon, how are your bees?" I knew the motive. I knew you weren't suddenly obsessed with apiculture, but I loved it anyway, and I was willing to spread the knowledge about honeybees. So when I sat down to write this speech, I kept coming back to this unusual source of inspiration, the honeybee. I've been a beekeeper for about 20 years. Comparing a graduating class to a swarm of insects might not sound flattering, but the more I learned about bees, the more I realized they teach us exactly what it means to grow up. Because the truth is, the life of a honeybee and the life of a student about to venture off into the unknown are surprisingly similar. I'll try to explain. I have a lot of facets to talk about, to compare the life of students to the life of honeybees and growing up, but I'll focus on three main things. So here's lesson number one. Might as well do the teacher route. For the betterment of the colony. As you venture into adulthood, remember the power of the hive. In your case, the community. Now, a single honeybee working her entire life produces just 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey her entire life. And yes, I said her. All female bees are called workers, and they do literally all of the work. Do I have beekeepers in here? Any beekeepers? There's got to be somebody in there. Wow, we need more beekeepers out there. They are the ones who leave, so the female bees, they do all the work. They are the ones who leave the hive to collect nectar and pollen. They're the ones you see on the dandelions in the fields or on the flower beds, these budding trees that are happening right now. They're all female. They keep the hive clean. Listen to this. They keep the hive clean. They make honeycomb. They take care of the queen. They protect the hives from predators. They monitor and change the temperature of the hive, hot, cold, whatever. Now the male honeybees, sorry guys. They are called drones. Their sole purpose in their lifetime is to mate with the queen. And when they do that, they're done. They die immediately. Otherwise, they just take up space in the hive. That's another math lesson for, although they do get kicked out. If there's too many drones in the hive, they get kicked out. So the females run the show. All right, do you see how I can get off track with beekeeping? I got to get back to this now. All right, so remember, I got to get back to this. One honeybee makes 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey. So here's the math. This is a big one. How many bees does it take to make 1 teaspoon? Come on. 12, thank you very much. All right, I had to do it. All right. 12 bees to make 1 teaspoon of honey in their lifetime, which is about 30, 60 days maybe. To make just 1 pound of honey, a colony must leave the comfort of the hive, travel 55,000 miles, visit over 2 million flowers, And despite this tiny individual contribution of 1/12 of the teaspoon, a healthy colony produces up to 100 pounds of honey a year. At Kents Hill, we know how to build a hive. I think of our gatherings around the wood-fired oven, the athletic teams, all school meetings, class connections, advisory lunches. You shared stories. You lifted each other up. You were teammates. You supported one another. You built strong connections. You didn't get to this stage alone. You got here as a collective unit. That's building your hive. That's community. Don't try to be a lone bee out in the world. Find your community, contribute to the common good, contribute your 1/12 of a teaspoon, and remember that we achieve greatness only when we work for the betterment of those around us. All right, the other two lessons aren't as long, and I'll stick to it. Here we go. Lesson number 2, loyalty to the queen. Stay loyal to your core values. In nature, the hive is fiercely loyal to the queen because she represents their future, and she is their anchor. During the summer months, she can lay up to 2,000 eggs a day within the hive, ensuring the colony continues to grow and thrive. It is essential that she is well taken care of in order for her to do her job. In adulthood, your queen is your inner compass, your integrity, your courage, and your kindness. During our time with the squad, the male identifying group that we meet with every once in a while, we talk deeply about accountability. We talk deeply about accountability as men. You noted in your yearbook dedication that true leadership isn't about being the loudest voice, it's about being the most consistent. That there is integrity. The world is full of distractions and dangers that will try to pull you off course. But your purpose is what you will always bring back to your hive. Stay loyal to your queen, stay loyal to your inner compass. Lesson 3, producing the purest product. Finally, strive to produce something pure. Honey is a miracle. It's pure, it's resilient, it requires honest, meticulous, repetitive work to create. And because of that purity, it never spoils. Archaeologists have found 3,000-year-old pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that are still perfectly edible. Class of 2026, let your life's work be like honey. In a world full of shortcuts, artificial substitutes, quick fixes, choose to be authentic. I think Yaz talked about that in her speech. Choose to be authentic. Put pure, honest effort into your careers and your relationships. Accept failure as part of the process. Win with grace, lose with dignity. Build a life of substance that stands the test of time and leaves the world a little sweeter than you found it. I'd like to conclude by saying it has been the privilege of my career to watch you grow. Think back to when you first arrived. S4, I don't want to go there. Much like young bees emerging into a vast world unsure of your wings. But look at you now. Together, you have built a hive of resilience, creativity, and unforgettable community. You didn't just grow, you thrived. You are entirely ready for what comes next. As you take flight, remember the strength of the colony, the hive, the community, and the lessons that brought you here. Stay fiercely loyal to your inner queen by letting your personal values anchor you. Hold yourself and each other accountable with quiet consistency, and always lean into the power of your community. So fly high, stick together, stay true to your purpose, pollinate the world with your new ideas, and go make some history. On to bigger and better things. Congratulations. Seriously. All right. I'm sorry, but I'm not done yet. That moved me right there. Thank you. Guys, where are they? Where are my boys? Please come up. You're late. You got to get up here. Put a little hustle into it. So this is something I wanted to share. This could be, I'm hoping that this is a gift for everybody. Hoping this is a gift for, not these guys, but hopefully this is a gift for the graduating class. Come right over here and grab those posters.
You're not whispering good.
I know, they can hear me. I know they can. In my class, and these guys are probably sick of it, but they're going to get one more Nearpod presentation. So one second. This is for everybody, so take your phones out if you care to. You don't have to do this. This is optional. Make sure that these guys get it too. One of them have to go there, yeah. So this is a Nearpod presentation. It needs a little bit of guidance from me here. So when you QR code this and do it with your phone, it will bring you to a page where you just put your name in. You can put a nickname if you want. And it's a self-paced version of our presentations that I do in class. But within this, there's some information I gave to you, and you can take. But then there's a question in there I really want you to focus on, and that is, what advice would you give to this graduating class? And I will get a report of all these. And I can send it to them because their emails are going to be good for a little bit longer, I think, right? Yes. All right, good. And if you want a copy of this after too, I might be able to get that to you if you put your email, but you got to spell it correctly. All the directions are in there. Guys, you are awesome. Does anybody else need the QR code? And good, thank you. We can put it right up here, just like showing, and that'll be good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to do something a little different. I hope it works in there. It might be a little quirky on the phone, but you might have to like bounce around from window to window, but thank you for allowing me to do that. I'm psyched for the information I get out of that, if I get any, and I hope you guys benefit from that too. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. All right, now I'd like to invite Laura Cole to address our graduates.
Good morning, guests, families, friends, faculty, members of the Board of Trustees, those watching around the world, and our graduates. It is a great honor and a true joy to continue a tradition introduced during last year's graduation, the Alumni Pinning Ceremony. With this simple gesture, we mark a profound moment, your transition from student to alumni. Today, you officially join a remarkable network of more than 7,000 Kensal alumni around the world. From Montreal to Madrid, Portland to Prague, Augusta to Antigua, Boston to the Bahamas, wherever life takes you, there's a fellow Husky not far away, including me. As a member of Kensal's class of 2009, I'd like to share a few hopes I have for you before we send you off into this wild and wondrous world. Most of all, I hope that you stay connected to Kensal, to this place, and to each other. I hope that you're in each other's weddings, meet each other's loved ones, and maybe someday even hold each other's babies. I hope that you show up for each other in the moments that really matter. The housewarmings and hospital visits, the late night phone calls, and the do I break up with them or do I just need a snack texts. I hope that you celebrate new jobs, relationships, businesses, projects, and cross-country moves. I hope that you find the time and make excuses to see each other, to reach out, to show up, to support, across years, across miles, and across oceans. I hope that you come back to Kensal for reunions, homecomings, graduations, and games, or just to visit your brick on the alumni path, pet a couple dogs, and watch one more sunset over the fields. I really hate to break it to you, but there is nothing like a Kensal sunset. I hope that you take inspiration and advice from the unexpected people in unexpected places. A few of you know that one of the great joys of my work at Kensal is teaching a public speaking class, and that one of our earliest projects was to write and deliver a graduation speech to a fictional school nestled in the mountains of Maine. One of your classmates shared a story about fishing with his dad. And like so many stories about fishing, there were no fish. He recalled a conversation they had that went loosely like this. You can have the most expensive boat on the lake. It can be 65 and sunny. The fish can have just woken up, whatever that time is. You can have the tastiest bait, the most perfect cast, the shiniest lure. And sometimes the fish just aren't there. Sometimes the fish just aren't there. In your life, there will be moments that are wildly out of your control. In your school, your relationships, your work. There'll be moments that shake you to your core. Doors that you desperately want to open will close. I hope that in these moments, especially in these moments, the core values that shaped your time here, care, courage, integrity, curiosity, and responsibility, find a way to nudge you forward, to new fish, and to new doors. And I hope that you know that Kensal will always be in your corner. Your classmates, your teachers, your advisors, your coaches, your dorm parents, and the countless other adults who care so much for you will continue to cheer you on, no matter where life takes you. Finally, I hope that you build a life of purpose and principle, rooted in our core values, whatever that looks like, and that you keep searching until you find it. To mark this important milestone, I would like each of you to find your alumni pin and remove it from the card. Please turn to the person next to you and place the pin on their gown. Today, I leave you with one final hope. I hope that when you catch a glimpse of this pin in the years ahead, it reminds you where you came from, who walked beside you, and that you will always have a home right here on the hill. That I can promise you. Congratulations. Now, I would like to invite Reverend Lee back to the podium to give the benediction.
Would you please join me in the benediction? As we leave this place, may you go forward with gratitude for where you have been and hope for where you're going. May you go with courage to try things that are hard, to fail without shame, and to begin again when needed. May you have the strength to meet difficult moments, the wisdom to recognize what truly matters, and the humility to keep growing. May you never forget the people who helped shape your journey, and may you become people who bring light, peace, and compassion wherever you go. May you go with kindness, the kind that costs something, the kind that changes a room. And may you know deep in your bones that you are held by grace, by love, and by a God whose care for you does not end when you leave this place. So Kentil class of 2026, you are ready. So go in peace and go with hopes. Amen.
Thank you all for helping us to celebrate our graduates in such spirit and joy. And it is now nearly time for us to close. Graduates, start to get those caps ready. We're coming up on the time for the cap toss. A quick note that as we end our ceremony, as our bagpiper begins to play, we are first going to have our faculty recess right down this path here so that we can set up a receiving line for our newest alums. After the faculty depart, our graduates will process out. And once our graduates have left their seats, families may rise and mingle until your students rejoin you on the far side of the receiving line. And now, the moment of parting is upon us. The speeches have been spoken, the hands have been shaken, the alumni pins have been adorned. To our newest alumni, know that we are so proud of you. Remember that you got here together and that in supporting each other through your time here, you have strengthened this community with gifts that will outlast you, and we are grateful for them. Most importantly, remember that this will always be a home where you are welcome. Graduates, let's get on your feet and get ready for the toss. Parents, get those phones ready. You've been waiting for this for a while. Ladies and gentlemen, let us celebrate the class of 2026. Let's see those caps fly. Faculty, let's rise.
Yeah, speaker down.
actually lined it up nice.
I know. I didn't want to get in your picture, so I was like standing there like, oh, no.
You might. Je sais pas, you.